First of all, that was sick.
You get a remote. They call me Oprah Whoopi Goldberg.
Hold on.
I did not change any settings on my camera.
Good. Brad has been my savior in this business because not only has he read all the Harry Potter books and his whole family's into it. So like I have that.
Didn't Konner like Harry Potter?
But he's not as into it. He hasn't read all the books. That's a different level. It's a different level. Understand. Just read them on audiobook. I will give you Konner. I know. I will give you my Audible login if you want to listen to them on audio. It's been a great time in the car.
You have an Audible subscription?
Yeah.
I love Audible, man. Not a sponsor. Could be though.
Should be though. That's Amazon. That's tough.
Are we bantering or is this pre-show?
We might keep this. But the other thing I realized about Brad is his kids came in and were playing Minecraft on their Switch, and I walked over there and wowed them with my knowledge of Minecraft. And he was like, I told them that, and he was like, well, they should be too surprised because being, his wife, they play Minecraft with them sometimes. And he was like, I was an original beta tester for Minecraft. Yeah, that was so cool. It's like, gosh dang it, Brad, would you like to get married?
That's pretty cool.
Brad's got all the cool stuff going on.
You can't marry Brad because me and Brad are already getting married.
No, that's a ruse.
You don't understand the
that
connection
is a ruse.
that Brad and I have.
Yeah, that he's got you right where he wants you. He just wants the alimony. Ask him, he's right there.
Brad, you ever heard of alimony? Yeah. Do you just want it?
They're fighting over who's marrying you.
Oh!
You just got wrecked, Trevor.
Dang. It's because we look so alike.
All right.
That's fair.
Okay, fair enough.
That's fair.
I told them I was going to marry you because you were my savior in this office because you were the first person to like have read Harry Potter and be into Minecraft. Silas is into Minecraft too. Yeah. Credit where credit's due, but you had the double factor. That's true. And that was big for me.
We do have a lot of common interests, I will say.
Yeah.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Got bush? Well, you definitely do if you haven't tried the best products from our sponsor today, Manscaped. Taking control of your bush is important, and these products are so good, you can be showing pride in your bush-free yard. Save big and be the most hygienic version of yourself by using the code BANTER20 for 20% off and free shipping over at manscaped.com. Whether you're looking to go bald like an eagle or just in need of a safe trim, Manscaped is dedicated to helping you level up your full-body grooming game. The grooming package I highly recommend personally is the Performance Package 4.0, which comes with the Lawnmower 4.0. This electric trimmer is a bush's worst nightmare. That's the hair, not the skin. Because it has proprietary skin-safe technology with its ceramic blade. And there's also no need for night vision goggles because this thing's got an LED light to help you mow the lawn.
Hunter, have you ever cut yourself with advanced skin-safe technology?
I can't say I have, Trevor.
Oh, I sure haven't either, Hunter. Go ahead.
Well, there you have it. If you want to be like us, then head over to manscaped.com and get 20% off and free shipping with the code BANTER20. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code BANTER20 at manscaped.com. Huge thanks again to Manscaped for supporting the show and the chaos that is the Bogey Bro Banter. Let's do it. Let me talk about my first Minecraft experience and how traumatic it was. So we were doing this.
Talk about how you play a child's game and got scared.
Did I get scared?
That's not kind.
Is that what happened?
Well, what happened? What was the emotion you felt? Hopelessness? Confusion?
Bored out of my mind.
Oh, boredom. Well, I mean,
here's what happened. Let me tell you the story.
That's your own fine arts mind not being creative enough.
So essentially what happens is we are doing this weekly stream, right? Foundation Gaming. We were streaming on Twitch every week. And
super cool. Everybody loved it.
And Trevor, no, it was like we actually had a decent little community going.
We had a few hundreds that would watch us.
And Trevor was like, hey, super stoked. Let's play Minecraft. So it was me, Trevor, Silas, and Trevor's brother, Tyler.
Squad.
I hadn't played Minecraft since I was in like 5th grade.
That's the preamble to the story is that Hunter was talking crap the entire time. Like he basically going into this game, he was wishing to hate this game. So he wasn't like
I knew I didn't like.
He wasn't like, well, I'm going to try and enjoy it. It was like I'm just getting ready to crap on it.
Well, my question, we were going into it. I was like, what's the point of the game?
And we all do that.
And there wasn't a point of the game.
There is lots of points that we expect.
I was like, how do I win this game?
You can win the game.
No, that's not what I was told.
Yeah,
I was told there's not
you
really
go to
a team
the end.
win.
We definitely told you.
Anyway, so I spawn in. First off, I downloaded the wrong Minecraft.
That was the funniest thing ever.
There's 2 Minecrafts. And then everyone acted like I was the idiot for not knowing which one to pick.
I don't want to say we act like you were an idiot. It was more like I was just like I can totally see how you would have done that.
You said that after you made fun of me for about 10 minutes.
because it was just so funny to me because like
everyone's like, why on earth would you download that version? I was like, no, why wouldn't I download that version? That.
I was just laughing because it was so
funny. You did say that.
No,
it's on stream.
I don't think I was. If I did, I was wrong to say like, why would you? Because I could totally see why. I just thought it was so funny that you were already like not wanting to buy the game, and then you bought the Microsoft version instead.
First off, I thought it was a free game. It used to be a free game.
No,
surely.
Well, maybe in its classic phase, but then it was in beta. So like, I don't.
So what did I download? I went over here and I hit Get Minecraft.
You downloaded the version that
computer.
So there are 2 versions of Minecraft. Although I think they're merging them right now. I think they're in the process.
There's only 1 version on their site now.
So I think they merged them. So there is
why was there ever 2 versions of Minecraft?
Because when they had the computer version, and when they first developed the version for console, it was behind the computer version because the graphics capabilities of the Xbox 360 obviously weren't there. And then what they did is they made that console version that was cross compatible with eventually the Pocket Edition in your phone and all the other consoles. And then they even made a version of that one that you could play on your computer, but it was a little bit behind the computer version in updates. But then they finally caught it up.
But the way they named it,
and they merged it. Yes, confusing.
They named it so that the one that sounded like you wanted to download was apparently the wrong one.
Very confusing.
So I downloaded that one.
I definitely would not.
I download, hop in the game, and they keep trying to tell me how to jump in.
I'm like, add this.
I'm like, yeah, that option you're telling me isn't there. And they're like, oh, Hunter's so stupid, can't figure out how to get. I'm like, look, my menu, I can't get to where you're telling me to go. It's not there. And then his brother finally goes, did you download the Java version or whatever it was? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh, what an idiot.
No, you got
bad start.
The Microsoft edition.
Yeah, that's what I freaking got. Why wouldn't I? We're all playing on Microsoft. We're all playing on PCs.
It may even be called Bedrock Edition at that point. I forget what they were called.
No, it was definitely the Microsoft Edition.
It doesn't matter. It was confusing.
To me, I was like,
no,
made perfect sense. Why would I get the Java edition?
Absolutely no, like.
Well, that's not what happened
no
that
problem
night.
there. I would have done the same thing.
Starting off, everyone's making fun of me for that. Then we jump into the game.
Poor Hunter.
I, again, haven't played Minecraft ever at like, I'm playing Minecraft, like I'm going to sit down and play this game. I've only ever played it on our school PCs with like a few of my friends, and none of us knew what we were doing. So it was a great time because like when everyone's at the same level doesn't know what they're doing.
Oh, so when people you don't know what you're doing, it is fun.
Yes, but so I jump in.
That contradicts the rest
Everyone
of the story.
knows what they're doing, so they all run off and leave me. Mm-hmm. So now they're all doing stuff and collecting stuff. I don't even know how to craft. I don't know crafting table. I don't know how to build one. I don't know how to build anything. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know what resources I need. So I'm just there with my hands. I'm like, oh yeah, chop wood. Woo! What a fun freaking game. This sucks. And so then the whole time I'm like, this is miserable. And they're just running off doing stuff. They're like, we gotta do stuff on it. You gotta do stuff. I'm like, do what? I still don't get the point of the game. No one's explained to me anything.
That's just the difference.
And they just leave me.
That's the difference between gamers, though.
And then,
for me, that's the enjoyment of that game.
The enjoyment for you was you probably played alongside friends at the same time they were learning with you.
Did not. When I started playing that game, my buddy and I got on the Xbox. We had no idea how to play.
That's exactly what I just said. You started playing the game at the same time as people who also didn't know how to play.
I understand what you're saying.
So you discovered it with someone.
Okay.
I jump in. Everyone runs. It's like, it'd be like if you went out and played disc golf. Mm-hmm. You have a starter set.
Yeah.
And then you have 3 Paul Macbeths, but we're all jerks, so we're not going to teach you how to play.
Yeah.
So I'm throwing 600 feet, and you're throwing 100 feet off the tee. And you're like, I don't get how you throw 600 feet. You're like, dude, just catch up. I'm 600 feet down the fairway, fricker. And then you just walk down the fairway and leave me.
Well,
does that sound like fun to anyone?
It's a little different.
Of course not. Tyler Staub, Trevor's brother, was my savior. He kept coming back and helping me through the game. Did I enjoy Minecraft? Not even for a millisecond did I have fun playing that game.
So it didn't matter.
Sucked.
So you can't really be mad
I
at
would
us.
if Konner and I hopped on Minecraft right now, I would probably have the time of my life. Because Konner would probably be about the same as me.
You probably do.
And he also has a personality type that he's going to make sure I have fun.
You would only have the time of your life out of spite. You would not enjoy the game if you didn't enjoy it.
If I discovered it with someone at the same time as them, I would probably like that game.
The things that you said about Minecraft on stream contradict that statement so hard. Like you talked about that game as if you could never enjoy it because of what it was. So,
well, I don't like games that don't have a point.
That is a very contradictory statement to what you've already said.
I don't like games that don't have a point. Like you're not like, oh, I'm like, I also never like career modes of anything ever.
Yes. So you basically just don't have a very creative brain.
I think I have a
Not
very
creative
brain.
You don't have a big imagination because like that's
no,
what
I
you
have
need.
all that I have in life is an imagination.
Well, that's what you need to play career mode and type games like that because you need to fill in
I
the
said
blank.
campaign mode. That's why I hate campaign mode.
You said career mode. You said career.
You
mode.
did say career mode.
I meant campaign. I hated career mode too, in like NBA 2K and stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't like where there's like a story and I just have to follow it. I liked like going online and just free world, do what I want to do.
Well, most career modes there wasn't a story.
But
mode.
Minecraft I didn't like because in Team Deathmatch, in Assassin's Creed, in whatever, there's an objective. We're all working towards one
There's
thing.
literally a list of objectives in Minecraft.
No one showed me that.
Menu.
No one showed me that. I asked multiple times, what's the point of this game? And they all said, you got to get to the end. We have to build this, get to a portal,
Yeah.
and then get to the end.
So the
I'm like,
objectives we told you.
okay, but like, then what? And they're like, well, then you're just in the game. I mean, so you never beat it. They're like, well, I
That
mean,
is
you can
beating the
beat it,
game.
but like, no. Like, you're still there. So like,
That
what
sounds like
happens after you beat the game?
What I think the perfect game is a game that you can beat it, and then if you still want to play it, you can play it.
But then what's the
state that
point? What's the point?
Because it's a creative game. There's so many things you can build and explore, and do. Like you can make automated
I hate
farms.
Minecraft.
There's a lot of stuff you can do.
Minecraft. If I
That's
was
just small brain energy.
if I was developing my brain and I needed to like grow, I was like a 5th grader, really immature, picking my nose, getting it stuck in between the keys. I might like Minecraft.
That's when I started playing Minecraft.
That's fair.
The
No
only-
wonder you like it.
Yeah.
Now imagine if when you first started playing Minecraft, your dad was playing and he was like, "Son, you're an idiot because you don't know how to build a crafting table, and I'm already over here and I've got everything developed. You suck at life, you little fricker."
That sounds.
You probably
about
would have
right.
hated it.
That sounds about right.
And that's what happened to me.
I'm sorry.
Don't be.
Okay.
This
I
is why
won't
we
be.
don't stream anymore.
I'm not sorry.
Because the only game I liked on stream was Rocket League, and Trevor just didn't like it.
That's not true. I liked Rocket League. I just
You
didn't
just
like.
never wanted to play it.
No, it's because we played it every week for like probably 6 weeks in a row,
Yeah,
and
it was
for
electric.
2 hours at a time.
I love Rocket League.
And what happened with Rocket League is I would enjoy it. The problem with Rocket League was it's a very steep learning curve game because the skill gap is insane in Rocket League. So I was only able to play video games once a week when we stream. I don't have time for that. So I wasn't going to get better at the game in the 2 hours we
I was
play.
getting better.
I was getting so marginally better. And also, like, I was never going to be able to learn game mechanics. Like, I could get coordinated within the game, but I was never going to learn, like, really complicated mechanics. So, like, it just frustrated me that, like, certain teams popped up, and I just knew I was never going to be able to beat them because I couldn't practice enough. Now, certain games like Apex, I really enjoyed playing. Listen, I miss gaming. I hopped on my PlayStation last night, like, very briefly to play a game of FIFA because I probably haven't touched it in 3 months. And I had a great time. I just don't have a lot of time for it. I wish I did.
Remember that time I beat you in FIFA on stream?
That didn't happen. People can go back and look at it.
I went up like 2-1 or 2-0.
You went up 1-0, and I beat you 9-1.
I think I went up 2-1.
Maybe. Doesn't matter. I won by like 7.
You did win by a lot.
I actually have gotten a lot.
But we'll always have that moment where I was like
wouldn't
beating him and he was getting real stressed.
Was not.
I
would.
You watched the stream. He was stressed.
They can watch the stream. So
Yeah,
like,
and you were stressed out of your mind.
Okay.
Dude, your thigh light's sick, Konner.
I've gotten way worse at FIFA.
Whoa.
I've discovered in my absence. I would not even claim to be like that good anymore. You just lose it.
Do you guys know? I'm talking about something different now.
Oh.
Do you guys know whenever you whenever you take somebody out to play disc golf and they're like very new to it, like you're basically the one introducing them to it, and the like time occasionally whenever they just like get super beginner's luck and play really well and you play really bad and they beat you.
Yes.
No.
Like on a
like they actually
Like on a
beat you
hole?
on a hole or the whole round.
Not necessarily the whole round. I mean, just like they're just doing really good to where it feels like you're just like, yeah, I suck.
No.
No, it's never happened to me.
I'm just trying.
I've seen him like I've taken people out before and they've like hit like a 60-footer.
I have certainly lost to people that are worse to me, but never somebody I've taken out as a beginner.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Not necessarily like it's their first time, but they're new to it.
Well, the reason I lose,
if you go to Peaksview, I could lose to anyone any day.
yes,
Yeah.
so that's what I'm talking about. I'm saying like that feeling
But if
whenever you
if
lose to
someone-
somebody that's worse than you.
If someone beats me at
Yes.
Peaksview and they rub it in my face, I say, let's go to New London. Or it used to be East
Yeah.
Campus. I said, let's go to East Campus then.
I'm
And they'd be like,
saying-
no. And I'd say, why? And they're like, because you're going to beat me. I said, because I'm better than you. They're like, yeah. I was like, okay. Then you can't rub it in my face.
I'm just saying that to say
can.
that I got to experience the feeling of being the new person. because I've always just been the person that's been playing disc golf for a while, and then I go play with people who've been playing for like a year, and then I just get beat and I get upset. But I went fishing the other day, and I'm very new to fishing, and this guy has been fishing for a very long time, has all the rods and all the bait and everything, and it was me and another guy who like don't ever go fishing, and we both caught like 6 fish each, and the guy that was like, it's like his thing, like he loves fishing, caught like a fish, and it was very funny, and it was really funny because I was like, I have never understood what it's like to be
Who caught
on
the
this
biggest fish
side.
though?
Oh, the other guy. Not the guy that's been playing for a while, but the other not much of a fisher guy.
Because if you only caught one and it was the biggest, then it's like,
It was just
still
really
counts
funny.
something.
It was just really funny because it felt like that situation where like I go play disc golf with somebody who's been playing for like, like a little less than a year.
Well, fishing is
And,
different.
like,
Though,
I'm kinda
'cause
like-
fishing's all luck.
It's a lot more. It's a lot of luck.
I don't think that's true.
Fishing's
Then
definitely a
disc
lot
golf,
of luck.
it's more luck than disc golf.
Yeah,
It's
but-
a lot of luck in
yeah,
general.
It's definitely more luck than
You
disc
can have
golf.
knowledge that'll help
I
you,
don't
but at the
know.
end of the day, you're relying on a third
I
party to
would
bite
say,
your bait.
I would say the
It's
difference,
not-
the
but
difference
you-
between fishing is you can have every bit of knowledge there is, and you can still not get a bite because the fish didn't decide to bite. Whereas disc golf, you can be as good as you want, and like you are in control of the disc.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's true. It's just a lot. It's just a lot less. It's just a lot more of like a like understanding your surroundings kind of.
Yeah, but like fishing, hunting, all of that requires luck.
yeah.
That
It
being
re-
said,
it
I would still
requires
be
an
a
amount of
sad
luck,
boy
yeah.
if I were a really good fisher and my buddies who don't fish that much caught more fish than me. I would be
I
sad.
just thought it was a funny
No,
situation.
no, I've been in
I
that
would
exact
be-
scenario
I'd be a
multiple.
sad
But
boy.
like the thing with fishing is like, it doesn't like once you have the right equipment, it doesn't really take much more than that. So like, if you're not even on a boat with like a fish finder, there's knowledge that you can have. But like if you take people out fishing and you're all fishing the same lake, it's just who's biting what. So like I've taken plenty of people out that know a lot less about fishing than me. I've never once been embarrassed because they caught more fish than me. Because I'm like, yeah, I brought you to the spot. Like we're here, we're all
Brought you to the
fishing.
spot.
Yeah, no, I mean, but it's definitely like having more knowledge about it is more likely to get you a bite
Yeah, but you still can't control
because
if
you know
get a
what
bite
kind
or
of
not.
bait. Yeah, but it's still.
You gotta be able to set that hook, man.
Well, it's because you're dealing. It's because it's a different kind of. I mean, I don't. They call fishing a sport. I'm not. I'm
It is
not
a sport.
Yeah,
I call it a sport.
Okay, well, it's
say
it's
fishing
it's a sport that relies on
See,
another
fishing
live
and
object,
hunting
which
is like
which makes
sports.
it-
They're more
It's
like
the,
gamesmen.
it's like the original sport, you know?
Yeah, well, that's very true.
So-
but you're relying on another living
Using
thing,
it
so it's less
I
predictable.
mean, all sports require luck to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
I would say all sports require luck.
Well, involve luck? Yes. Require luck? No. You don't need luck to shoot a basketball into the hoop. But the game involves luck because you will get lucky breaks.
Yeah, I think the team that's getting a lot of times if it's two
Fishing-
evenly matched
fishing-
teams or two evenly matched anything in sports, the one that gets luckier wins.
Yes, but fishing, like literally to have a fish bite your hook, that is like probability is
But
required.
that's what I'm saying. Is like luck is a part of sports.
Yeah.
Luck is fishing and hunting. You can know all you want. Just like poker. You can know all you want, but if you get dealt the wrong hand, you're going to lose.
Well, not
You can only
necessarily.
be so good at poker.
I mean, you
But
can.
if you were the best poker player in the world, you would never lose then. But the best poker player in the world is
Yeah,
going to lose
you're right.
because it requires luck.
yeah, no, there's definitely luck involved. In
Like if you
poker.
just get dealt bad hand after bad hand after bad hand, you can't help that.
Yeah,
So it
it's
doesn't
true.
matter how much you know about poker. There's gonna be times where like someone who
Well,
knows
you
a
just
lot
don't
less
bet.
just keeps getting.
Well,
We've
yeah.
all played poker
Until
and
you-
like had your
until they
mom
raise the
just keep
blinds.
getting.
Yes,
But
yeah.
sometimes like I've played poker, my mom has to have the cheat sheet in front of her, and she just keeps getting dealt hands that like I can't touch.
Literally, we just
Doesn't
played,
matter
we just
what
played
happens to
poker
me.
at the beach, and like
You flipped a table over it.
No. We were playing with this guy Ray, who is like he's very knowledgeable about poker. He's kind of a shark. And then we were bringing people in that just from my family that had never played before, giving them the cheat sheet like that. You very seldom see like full houses get dealt. And twice in one sit down, this guy got bad beat on a full house like that somebody caught on like I think the turn or the river both times. Like just complete
That's
luck.
what I'm saying. Like you
they
can
had
be as good at poker as you
they
want.
had already bet super big and then they catch a card and like, oh, it's disgusting. You can definitely
That's how
get
I
bad
view
beats.
fishing. It's like you can be as good as fishing as you want. Just some days fishing aren't biting.
Apparently what they do at some casinos, I didn't know this, is they have a bad beat pot to where like a certain percentage goes to the bad beat pot, and if you lose like on somebody just catching a card luckily like that, and it's just like an awful beat, there's nothing you could have done about it, you get the bad beat pot. So like you get some consolation. I think it's
the whole point of the casino is that random flip, the random luck.
Well, yeah, but no, the other person
That's
still
gambling.
wins. No, I mean the other person still wins. It's more.
When are they going to set up a bad beat pot on roulette? And it's like you bet black, but if it lands on red, you get the little side pot.
There's a big difference.
I
didn't invent it.
I think that
you did.
I think that with things like fishing, you can say like the fish aren't biting, which is like a good general term. But really, I think that mostly it's that you haven't found where the fish are biting. Because like the fish are biting somewhere, like they're gonna bite somewhere. You're just not at the right spot at the lake.
There's just some days where like it's cloudy, overcast, raining, perfect conditions, and like you could be everywhere in that lake and the fish just aren't biting. Might be because there's enough frogs and stuff in there that they're full when they're literally just not biting.
Yeah,
it's just like there's some days where you can go out and have like everything perfect. That's why professional fishing.
I guess
professional fishing, the person who knew the most about fishing would always win.
Yeah.
But they don't because there's luck.
Yeah. I guess I was just thinking like whenever you just say luck, it just makes me. I guess I don't really like the word luck. I think that it's just a lot of different things built up to make a scenario where the fish weren't biting because they were,
fishing definitely requires luck. There's no way around it.
I don't like the word luck.
Well, it's probability then.
Yeah.
There is a probability that a fish is going to bite.
That's what luck is.
You can,
if you hit the probability.
Yeah, luck is hitting your probability.
If I flip a coin, there's a 50-50 shot. I get lucky if it lands on the one I called.
Yeah, there's two different.
But it's not luck. Whenever it hit the table, it hit a certain way, which made it land on
you can think of luck,
but I got lucky.
I know. I just don't like the word luck.
Hunter's not considering luck as in like the magical form of luck. He's considering luck as in a word to describe.
Yeah.
Getting the good probability, the one you wanted.
That's the
like hitting the lottery is lucky.
Yes.
Same thing.
I would. If I slipped and then like somehow caught myself, I would say I got lucky, not because something magical happened that like happened that I didn't fall. Like it's not luck, the magic of luck. It's the probability of me catching myself was low and it somehow happened. That would be like the luck I would be describing.
Isn't that everything?
For some reason,
like
the word
probability
luck,
of me walking outside and Shaquille O'Neal being there is very low.
Right.
But if I walk outside and Shaq's there, I'd be like, I'm the
lucky.
luckiest person alive. I just met Shaq.
I think I just don't like the word luck because it takes to me it sounds like it takes out the fact that things happen for a reason.
You can increase your chances.
It just
of
sounds
being
like
lucky.
everything. Just like this might happen.
Like
whoa.
Paul is luckier than I am at disc golf because he's better than me at disc golf.
But he's not luckier though. He is
luckier.
He just can control his probabilities better.
Which he's luckier. He'll get if I play with him, he'll get better breaks than me.
I mean I disagree.
It's a straight
with
up
that.
thing. The better you are, the luckier you get. That's literally a phrase.
Well, I think that's just because you veer off.
That's
your
why they
lines
say
less.
5-time luck all the time.
That's a phrase, but it's not backed in fact.
I think
if you watch really good players play disc golf and really bad players disc golf, sometimes the bad players gets lucky, but the good players, if it's their day, they're getting breaks. You're like, how
and
the
what?
frick?
Yeah, and how do you describe? And how do you?
Because he's better.
And what makes him get better breaks on a disc golf course because he's better? I would say that missing big, you get better breaks than missing little usually.
I don't know though. Usually, if you're bad, but like there's just some days where people have it, and it's like Eagle.
Yeah,
on hole 18,
some days
round
you get
3.
the better breaks, but like those guys, I disagree that you and Paul go out to a course and he's just guaranteed to get better breaks. He's guaranteed to play better, but it doesn't mean he's going to guaranteed get better breaks than you.
Well, I think even
that's just like mind control at that point. Like, of course, he's not guaranteed to get better breaks.
I would say
he might hit a little rock on the ground.
No,
and
maybe
roll
not
over.
every round, but he's more likely to get better breaks than I am. Any player that's better than me is more likely to get better breaks than I am.
Why?
Because they're better.
Okay, keep going. But what makes you get better breaks on a disc golf course?
Because you're better. You're throwing better shots, everything.
Better
you're throwing better
shots,
shots.
miss small, which gives you worse breaks on the disc golf course, is what I'm saying. Like, if you hit a tree small,
You've seen it just as much as I am.
I disagree with the statement that you and Paul would go out to a disc golf course and he would guaranteed get better breaks.
Not guaranteed every round, but if we played 10 rounds, across those 10 rounds, he's going to have more better breaks than me.
Why?
Because he's better at disc golf.
That's not a good argument.
That's the only argument I have. The better you are, the luckier you get.
Okay,
that's all
there's
it
no
is.
fact behind that though. You're
It just
saying,
happens.
Okay,
I've played enough disc golf and I've played enough like
Okay,
like Steph Curry's going to get better rolls because he's better at basketball.
Okay, but there's like you could say like because he gets better rotation on the ball.
Yeah,
like,
there's a lot of stuff that goes into why Paul would
but
get
like
better breaks.
that's what I want to hear. What's the stuff?
Well, like on his putt, he has more control over his putt. So like he putts nose down, he's gonna hit the band and fall in a lot more than me because of how I putt.
All right.
So that's
okay,
not
that's
luck.
all I
That's,
want.
that's not luck though.
That
Yeah.
is luck. He still hit the band.
But
I mean,
it's
but
not,
like all that.
He hit the band in a way that's more likely to fall in.
That's
I
more
hit a
likely
band
to
that's
fall
more
in.
likely to chain out.
but if it's more
we both
likely to
require
fall
luck.
in, then it's not luck.
It is
though.
still luck because he still hit the band. So
But
there's
like,
still the chance it's not going to go in.
I think that we just view the word luck as they have different meanings.
So
to
like
us.
if there's a 3 out of 4 chance for you and a 2 out of 4 chance for me, we're still both lucky when it hit. There's just less likely I'm gonna be lucky.
it's not. I mean, it's not luck. If you make something that's a 3 out of 4 chance, that's not luck.
If it's like I have a 3 out of 4 chance to hit dead center on this putt, yeah, that's not luck, that's skill. If we both hit band and you have a 3 out of 4 chance of going in, I don't, that's luck. Because we hit band. We did something we weren't supposed to do and you're still went in. That's luck.
Yeah, I see that. Listen, that's all I wanted to hear is like technique
Like I can't like, but that's what I'm saying.
behind it.
Yeah, like, but it's a lot more than just putts. Like his throws probably have more spin and less spin depending on like what shot
Yeah.
he's going for. So like he's more likely when he hits to stay in bounds. Than me.
Listen, that's all I wanted to hear.
I
That's,
feel like
but like that's what I'm saying. It's like
so.
across
To me,
a whole
that's
round.
not luck. The fact that he throws with more spin, so it's like kicks
No, but
in
like
less-
if he messes up in a way that's more likely to succeed.
He is creating
Yeah.
better
He's creating
odds.
scenarios for him to be more lucky.
Yes.
By the way he
that
throws.
statement, I would say he's not getting better luck. He's creating scenarios where he gets
Yeah, so
more.
across the round, if you just watch it objectively, he's going to get luckier.
yeah. Whenever I
Okay,
just
I
hear
see
the
that.
word luck, I
see
think
that.
I
That's
feel
just
like
how sports works.
I feel like the word luck
better
is
you
more
are, the luckier you
inexplainable than that. You know, like
Well, like,
I feel,
when he
I feel like
hits
you have
band-
too much. I feel like your version of luck has too much logic for what luck actually means.
No, everything's logical.
Yeah, I don't think luck is logical.
Luck is always logical. You
I
can
think
increase
that
your
the way you
probability.
use
Well, a lot of people don't consider it logical.
Yeah.
Is what he's saying.
Well, no, it doesn't seem logical. Like people, when Paul hits band and it falls in, it's like, how the frick did that go in? Or like he hits a putt on the right side after Gannon spits through, and it's like, how the
Well,
heck?
and
It's like, well, he has better pace.
There are
so
sports,
he's gonna get
for
luckier.
instance, hockey. Puck luck is a big thing in hockey because.
But are there players that have more puck luck?
No.
Then I don't know what puck luck
No,
is.
like puck luck is like you've watched hockey games. That thing sprays all over the place. Sometimes there's just a crazy deflection that happens that nobody was trying to see, and it goes into the perfect part of the net.
Yeah.
That would be a goal where
Okay, so the word luck actually means, according to Oxford Languages, success or failure apparently brought by chance rather than through one's own actions.
Yeah, apparently.
But
It
through,
seems to be brought by chance. But your actions
No.
directly affect that chance.
no, it says rather than
but
brought by
it
What
does
was the
say
first
it
word?
does
It's
say
not-
apparently.
success or failure apparently brought
That's the big word.
Apparently.
by chance.
You can
rather than
increase
one's
your
own
chances or
actions.
It
decrease your
doesn't
chances
say
based on your
yeah,
actions.
It doesn't say brought. It says apparently brought.
Because
so
it seems like it
is.
Like when Paul hits band, it seems like he got lucky, but he increased his chances of getting lucky by the way he putts.
I think
There's
Oxford
another
also
thing
has
is-
gives that a loose definition on purpose.
Yeah. I mean, another one is considered as a force that causes good or bad things to happen.
Right.
Considered.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that-
you're right.
They
so
give
that's
it-
what
they
that's,
give it a
well,
loose
that's-
definition.
That's what I'm saying is that it's your definition of luck. It versus like I view luck a different way. To me, luck is more like an inexplainable force that I don't believe in.
yeah, that's just not how I look
But that's
at
not. But like luck is a real thing, but it's not inexplainable. You just can increase your chances of being lucky.
it. It's just a
Well,
term.
that's what like
It's just it's just a term that you can use to describe.
yeah. I guess that's just not always the way that I viewed.
I've just
what the
always
word
looked
luck
at it that
means.
way.
So that makes
because,
sense.
Yeah, I've just never like obviously you hear people refer to it as like literally just being like a lucky guy having like magic luck, but like
Yeah.
I've just always shot that down. And so for me, because the word luck is used so much in sports, especially, I always have just considered it, you know, what it is to me, which is
Luck just whenever you use the word luck, it sounds very much like, oh, we're just a feather blown through the wind, just like you can't control anything and nothing happens for a purpose. But
Well, it's like if I was a
I think
feather and I
that
chose
everything
the
happens for a
headwind, of
purpose.
course I'm moving forward. I got lucky.
this guy.
but like that to me, yeah, I guess that's just not what I considered a definition of luck, but it
I
is
think it's because I've
apparently
always viewed luck through sports.
that probably
Yeah.
is it.
And luck in
I think-
sports
I
is
think
very
probably
much
is it.
like, of course, Steph Curry got the role. He has a shooter's touch.
Mm-hmm.
Like a shooter's touch is luck. I hit the front rim and I don't have the
Luck-
same amount of spin and stuff. I'm clanking off.
Luck
He
in
hits the front
sports,
rim, he's
too,
rolling in.
You just learned to
That
view
makes sense.
because as a sports fan, you like have to deal with luck in a painful way so many times when your team's on the wrong side of it. You just early on you accept that it is just a probability because guess what? You're going to get a break the next time around.
Yeah.
Like, so I think when you view it through sports, you just kind of immediately
Here's a
adhere
great
to
example.
probability.
The way I putt, I make a lot of putts low left.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, like if y'all putt low left, a lot of times it doesn't go in.
Sure.
It's because the way I putt.
Mm-hmm.
So if we both hit the same spot, you don't go in, I go in. It seems like I got lucky. I kind of did because that's not where I'm aiming. But because of my putting style, I'm more likely to get that break.
Yeah,
over
so
and
I don't
over and
consider
over.
it luck.
That's luck.
Because of it. So
But that's not what I was trying to do. I got lucky that stayed in.
Gotcha. I just consider it like you had a higher probability of it staying in because of the way that you putt. But again,
I had a
there's
higher probability of getting
we're
lucky.
we're learning that like a lot of like this just is not like a conversation worth having because we view the word differently. I now understand your point because you view the word luck in a different way that I do, and I understand that. Now I understand when you say luck what you mean.
Touche.
I didn't realize anyone viewed it differently.
I
definitely have you been listening to me?
Yeah, I'm just saying like I just didn't never crossed my mind that when people said lucky, they just did,
Whenever
they just thought
I
of
don't
like
I don't view
really?
luck
Like that. Why do you think people have like their lucky
like
thing
lucky
that they
charm
Like-
because like when that gives you a sense of confidence, which means it's more likely for stuff to happen.
Right. Why does it give them confidence? Because they think it's
No, because like I had
they're
a lucky T-shirt.
superstitious.
I had a lucky T-shirt.
That's-
I always
I
wore
viewed
before
it as a
basketball
superstitious
games
thing.
because I wore that one thing and then I hit a bunch of threes and I was like, frick yeah,
So it was superstitious.
lucky
though.
T-shirt.
And now to you, it might have just been more like a thing. Like it's not.
Well, I
like
knew
a,
like when I put it on, I just gave me confidence of like I've done it before in this. I'm about to do it
right.
again.
But there
Yeah.
are genuinely a lot of people out there that hold charms like that because they actually think there is magic behind it.
and that's what
That
I
is
think of whenever I think of
genuinely a
luck. That's why I
belief.
don't like it because it
Yeah,
doesn't
but
make any
when I-
sense to me.
I guess so.
I mean,
So-
you've seen the
I just
world.
every time I view time I
Like-
view that, I'm just like I just view it as they think they're increasing their probability of getting lucky because like
Whenever someone has a
confidence,
rabbit's foot on their keychain,
gives them
Yeah.
confidence.
No, it's not because it doesn't give them. It gives them confidence because they think it's magical, not because they're like.
But it still gives
"Ooh."
them confidence. Like that's what it
Well,
winds down
yeah,
to.
that's the end
and that's
result.
why they're going to end up getting luckier.
Yes, in real life, yes.
Yeah,
but in
that's
their
how I always
in
viewed
their
it.
minds, no.
It was just a sense of confidence.
so you are taking a logical perspective on luck, which I
I take
respect,
logical perspective
and
on everything.
I understand.
My mind is very logical.
and just to be
except
clear,
for when I'm
that's
doing
why
graphic design.
that's why I don't typically like the word luck because I don't like that it's like it's very flowy and doesn't really have.
And that
meaning.
is fair. I mean, really,
it's a very.
I think it's just a convenient word because it's if you either say that or you have to like go into an explanation.
Well, I mean, there's not a real definition for it. We just read it. Like there's you literally use the word almost however you want
This
because
is also true. It is a pretty loose definition.
all right.
Anyways, so last night, I've always prided myself as somebody that can sleep anywhere. Like I've always said, like I could sleep on a concrete floor and be fine. And
Uh-huh.
I put that to the test last night because everybody in my house has kind of had a little bit of cold, but my son and my wife were like, they were kind of out of it yesterday, and
As in sick.
yeah. Well, like just like not feeling great in general.
Okay.
Not like super sick. And then so I walk in and they're both laying in the bed and we hadn't put Brooks in his bed and like they're just kind of laying there and they're like I think Kenzie was like on her phone or whatever and I was kind of walking around still doing stuff and then at one point they fall asleep. I was actually sitting on the floor because there was like a pillow on the floor. I don't know why. I just randomly sat on the floor. There was a pillow on the floor. I don't know why. I think I was stretching out my back. And I look up and I noticed that they both went asleep right in the middle of the bed, like spread out. Like and Brooks had been in a mood because he's not feeling well and a sick baby is not a fun baby. And I just knew if I tried to get into that bed and I disturbed them, it was going to be bad. I needed to let them sleep. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'm pretty comfy down here. I'm just gonna grab a blanket and lay my head on this pillow and just, get on my phone for a little bit, whatever. And I would just kind of wait for them to eventually stir, and then Kenzie would probably put Brooks to bed, and then whatever. Well, I woke up at 6:30 in the morning, and I was still on that floor. And let me tell you, I slept like a rock.
I
on
love
that floor.
floors. I love
Dude,
floors.
I slept so good, and I was laying there, and I was like. It was harder for me to get off that floor, not
Yeah.
because I was sore, but because I was so comfortable.
Exactly.
Than getting off of my like really nice.
Were you laying
mattress.
like
We have
on
a
your
purple
back
mattress.
the whole time, or were you laying on your side?
A little bit of both, man.
Oh my gosh!
We have carpet on our floors. Like they're pretty soft, but like I was
When
I
I
was
would
like,
travel-
this is great. I
when
had
I
my
would-
weighted blanket on me.
Yeah.
Oh heck yeah! I was sealed in there like a
That's so
Ziploc.
funny.
When I would travel for tournaments, I was always the guy that's like, you know what? I'll take the floor, man. Like,
I
I
just don't have a problem.
people would like be like, no, don't have to.
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't understand. I'm gonna be more comfortable on that floor than in the bed every time.
The floor is
I
not
love-
bad
oh,
at
I
all.
love sleeping on floors.
I woke up and I was like, and I know Kenzie will be listening to this podcast eventually, and I was like, it wasn't like I even was like just being defiant, like I'm not gonna get in the bed or whatever. I just literally fell asleep there, and then I woke up, and that was it. And yeah,
Dude, Liz has been
Good time.
having a real hard time sleeping. She's 8.5 months pregnant now. About
how many weeks, man? Come on, dude, know your weeks.
30. She's 37 weeks this week.
Yeah,
So I guess not quite 8.5.
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. About 8.5. She's over 8 months pregnant. So she's very pregnant. And so now she's at the stage where she is just every day just uncomfortable. No way around it. There's a human in there moving around, kicking her, doing.
That's a
can't
fully
imagine it.
fully grown boy at that point.
Yeah, he's like he's over.
he's just chilling.
We'll find out today what he weighs this week, but last week he was 6 pounds. So this week he'll either be 6.5 or 7.
That's a big boy.
So yeah, big baby. So anyways, she has a hard time going to sleep, has a hard time staying asleep because she has to get up to pee so frequently because he's sitting on her bladder.
Oh, yeah.
And then also he's most active at night, obviously. So he kicks her around and stuff like that. So she doesn't get to sleep basically at all. So every morning this week so far, 3 mornings, I've gotten up and she just looks so comfy. And I'm like, she's out cold. And she always wants me to like wake her up, tell her I'm going to work, kiss her bye, leave, and then she goes back to sleep.
Yeah,
But these 3 mornings, I'm like, I don't want to do that.
can't do it.
So, well, I've just like gotten closer. I'm like, hey, I'm going to work. And she's like, huh? I'm like, I'm leaving. And she'll like kind of open her eyes and you're like, and then lays back down. I'm like, that work?
Yeah,
I'm in the clear.
As
So
long
when
as
I
you-
get home and she says something, I'm like,
Yeah.
I saw you. You woke up.
My wife and I'm very careful to always like say goodbye when I leave in the morning. But she is such. I am like, you wake me up, I'm ready. I am there. I'm in the moment, no matter how long I've been sleeping. But my wife is like a zombie when she's like awakened like that.
I'm
So
sure she'll appreciate this.
no, she knows it, but like she's just not with it immediately, and that's how a lot of people are. But if I just, and I've never done this, but if I just left in the morning and then I told her that I said goodbye, she would have no way of recalling it. Like no, because she never.
I've had conversations where
she
like I've
never knows.
Woke Liz up, told her bye.
Yeah.
Had a conversation with her of like,
Yeah.
hey, like this is previous, like, hey, make sure you text me when blah 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 blah.
And then she
And
forgets
she goes back
it
to
all.
sleep. Then I'll get home from work. She's like, why didn't you wake me up this
I've
morning
had
and tell
the
me
same-
bye? I'm like,
I've had
I
the same
did.
thing, yeah.
I had a whole conversation with you. This is what happened. Went back. She's like, I don't remember any of it. I'm like, it happened.
I've had the same thing happen before.
So I definitely, I've considered it all 3 mornings. But I don't want to lie to my wife
like-
when I get home.
No, I'm like, I swear to you, I'm not gaslighting you. Like I said goodbye this morning, you just were barely awake. I like
Yeah.
if her eyes open, and that's a real special treat.
Yeah.
This is so funny because like Gabby, I've never experienced her sleep talking or anything, but the last few mornings, every morning when I wake her up, she just says complete nonsense to me. So like yesterday, whenever I walked out the door, she was like, "Oh, just like you should be fine now. Like I fixed your car, it'll start now."
That's so funny.
And I was just like, I don't question it. I was just be like, "Okay, thank you, appreciate it."
Okay, great.
And I just walked down the stairs.
That's the
and then the
best.
night before that, she was like, she was like, hey, whenever you go downstairs, just you can have some, but don't drink all the Sprite. And there's no
so
Sprite. There's no Sprite in our
funny.
house. There's not a
I
single bit
love
of Sprite in
that.
our house.
Sleep
I'm like,
talk is so
okay,
funny to me.
all right, thank you. And like it's just been like stuff like that where like she like just before you walk out the door, just like know this. I'm like,
That's
all right.
so. I had a roommate that sleep talked in German, Nate Carroll, and he didn't know,
Really?
he didn't know very much German at all. And he would sleep talk in fluent German.
That's
you would wake up and
crazy.
hear German coming out of his mouth. It was the best. And sometimes we would go like, me and my other roommate would be like, "Don't worry about it, Nader, bud. Go back to sleep, buddy." Because he would like sit up too. He would sit up. Oh, it was crazy.
That's crazy.
Sleep talking is hilarious. My
I
brother,
told you about
man,
the time I
he would
slept
do it
talked,
too.
right? On the cruise ship. I think I've told it on this podcast.
I think so.
I think I've definitely told it to y'all. I
We've
don't know
heard
if I
a
told
lot
it
of
on
cruise
podcast.
ship
I don't
stories.
know.
Well, I guess I'll just tell it. I don't
Go
know if I told it on the podcast.
It's
Y'all have heard
I
it.
don't really remember.
Y'all
very
have
well.
heard it.
Have
so just
I don't know if I've heard this.
definitely have. I've definitely told this story.
Okay.
But we used to go on a cruise ship every year. It was like my family, my cousin's family,
Red Bull night.
Red Bull
Yeah,
night,
I was about to say.
my cousin's family, and then like a bunch of our friends from school. So like we bring like 2 or 3 other families with us, and so there was a solid like 20 or so of us that all went on the cruise ship together every summer for like multiple years in a row. It was great. Well, my whole family didn't go. It was just me, my mom, and my dad. because all of them were like my age, and my brother and sister were like 7 years older than me, so they didn't go. And it was when I was in high school, so they were in college.
Sounds like so much fun.
Basically 8th grade through probably like 10th or 11th grade every summer. That's just what we did. Go on a week-long cruise to the Caribbean. It was incredible. And it was always me, Tyler, and Blaine. So me, my cousin, and one of our friends were always in a room. And we would always, every night, you're up late. Every night. 'Cause there's so much to do on the cruise ship.
Happens.
Plus, like, we had just crossed over, like, the 16-year-old threshold was, like, 11 o'clock curfew on the cruise ship.
Oh, heck yeah.
I just turned 16
That's
on this
big
one.
time.
So, like, now we're mini golfing at 2 a.m. Why not? You can. So it was a horrible
you just
idea.
said 11 o'clock curfew.
No, I crossed 16.
Oh, it's
I'm
past
gone
that.
now.
You're no curfew.
16 and younger, there's a curfew.
Dude, I want to play mini golf. If mini golf at 2 a.m. is what cruising is about, then maybe I'm
There's
missing out
everything.
this whole
Pizza,
time.
24 hour all you can eat pizza buffet.
I will go on a cruise with y'all, but we need to act like we're kids.
Yes.
Absolutely. That's
That
what a
sounds
cruise is for.
awesome.
Well, you also we would sign up for like family dodgeball, and there's this one
Yeah,
dude.
that's what I'm saying. I want to play family dodgeball.
This one guy, Mr. Finnerty, he had only daughters. And so, but he was very like athletic. He was in the junior Olympics on the volleyball team when he was younger. Super athletic guy.
Gosh.
Just like an absolute hoss. So he would always do stuff with me, Blaine, and Tyler because like it was his chance to like do stuff with like young, like basically like he had sons.
The boys.
Yeah.
And so we would always like he was on our volleyball team. We would have like, and it was very cheating. He was on our dodgeball team. You'd have like
What cruise line was this?
Royal Caribbean.
Royal Caribbean.
You'd have like one day would be like adult dodgeball competition. And it was like bracket style. And so you show up with your team and we just rolled through people. It was incredible.
Did you win ever?
Yeah. Yeah. He also won the belly flop competition.
That
was incredible. They had
That's sick.
you like picked your intro song, he came out and danced, and then it was the International Belly Flop Championship.
That
what
is
it's
dad
called.
energy that I only can aspire to.
And so
have.
like it was at the like Aqua Park thing, and like
Yeah.
it was packed.
That's
like the whole arena was
awesome.
packed,
That is
and
so
everyone
funny.
was like chanting his name by the end of it. It was
I aspire to
he
have
became
that kind
famous.
Of dad
Like
energy.
that was early in the week, and then the rest of the week we couldn't go anywhere. Everyone was like, "Dude, it's a belly flop guy." I
Dude.
tried to take pictures of
When
him.
you're on the cruise ship, man,
It was
it's
incredible.
a community.
Anyways, so
I want to be on one
we
now.
one night we stayed up late at night after night after night. We were going to like the casino with
Dude,
and
cruising
look people
sounds
around.
hype. There's
It's
a
so
casino
fun.
too.
Oh, there's so much.
Yeah.
And so
A lot of people
I was
just
very
live at the
sleep
casino.
deprived.
Yeah.
Very sleep deprived. And so I just pass out at like 2 a.m. and we're supposed to be up at like 7 something for our excursion the next day.
Yeah.
And so the alarm goes off at 7 and I wake up and Tyler and Blaine are like, "Dude, what were you doing last night?"
I don't think I've heard this story.
And I was like,
I have not
I was
heard
like, I was
this
doing
story.
nothing. And they're like, like you having a dream or something? I was like, no. They're like you went to bed at 2. They're like 4 a.m. We wake up to you screaming. I'm like, okay. And like they're like you sat up and they're like you didn't open your eyes, but you sat up and you were just yelling at us. You were like, "Get out of bed! The ship is sinking! The ship is sinking! We gotta go! The ship is sinking!" And like so we kind of panicked and got up, and then you just kept saying it. He goes, and then out of nowhere you stopped, and then you just threw your head back and fell back asleep.
What the frick?
And they're like,
I'm freaking
you didn't move anymore. And we're like, so they apparently like got up, like looked around, and they were like, the ship's not sinking. Like there's no alarms going off or anything. And then they went back to bed.
I was
But,
like freaking out. I'd be like, what the heck?
I was like, I don't remember any of that. That's my only time I ever known that I've like sleep talked. But
Dude,
yeah, apparently just
cruising
sat up
with
and was
Hunter, dude, is
yelling
a
at him.
different breed, man.
It just was yelling at him that the ship was sinking.
I will go on a cruise. Like I've always been like not interested in cruising, but if we can play family dodgeball,
Family
dude.
dodgeball, family basketball,
all
mini golf,
the shows
zip
on there.
lining,
There's comedy shows. There's
Dude.
like
all your foods
Broadway-esque
cruise
shows.
life, dude.
It's the way
very fun.
it's the way to do a vacation with a family.
Cruise life, bro.
Once our kids get like
yeah, I say it does not sound like the way to do it with an infant.
no, once our kids get like 5 to 7,
Yeah.
Disney cruise. That's the way to go.
Disney cruise.
When I was in like
I've never done a Disney
my aunt and
cruise.
uncle
Fourth or
met on
fifth grade.
working on a Disney cruise line. I know all about the Disney
Heck yeah.
cruise.
When I was in like 4th grade,
That's so cool.
we took my best friend Chip and his mom and me and my mom, and we went on a Disney cruise. And it was incredible. Disney has like their own private islands you go to, so it's like only Disney there.
So on the Disney cruise ship, the employees have like code names for certain stuff that goes down, and like if somebody poops in the pool, the code name for that is Winnie, because Winnie the
That's
Pooh.
very funny.
That's funny.
Just a little Disney tidbit
That's
for
very
you.
funny.
Yeah.
One time, whenever we were on, I've only been on 2 cruises, but one of the ones I was on, my family was like, we all got back from doing something. I don't know, I don't know what happened. But everybody was like in the room, like taking showers and getting ready and everything. And we set our Eno up out on the balcony. And we were like a lower balcony. So like we were like, you could see the water very clearly, obviously. And like, so I spent a lot of the cruise. Anytime we went to the room, I was on the balcony staring at the water because I was just in amazement with how turquoise blue it was.
Where'd you go cruising?
The Caribbean. I was just like blown away by the water. It was crazy. And so we set up like our Eno from like pole to pole out there on this little tiny balcony. And I just like laid in it and I ended up falling asleep. And it was like perfectly sunny and everything whenever I fell asleep. I like wake up by my arm smashing into the rail, and I wake up and it's like a complete storm out there, like a hurricane. Like I look over the edge and the water's hitting the side of the boat and crashing all the way up to our balcony. And like I'm like getting wet and it's pouring down rain.
Fun.
It's like lightning. And so I'm just like
terrifying.
And the Eno was like rocking like this on the balcony.
Throw you overboard?
I thought for sure I was about to get thrown over the balcony. So I'm like, I wake up and I'm like freaking out. I'm like, we're all about to die. And then I went to the door and I'm gonna go pull on to open it and it was locked. And I looked in the window and there was no one in our room. Not a single person in there. And I was like, where the crap did my family go? How long have I been asleep? In my head, everybody's already on lifeboats and they left me. And so I'm just sitting there like freaking out, like knocking on the door, like trying to see if someone can hear me. And then my dad walked out of the shower with a towel on and he opened the door for me. He was like, oh, the girls just like went to go like shopping or whatever.
That's
I was like, okay, well, let me in, please. It was very funny.
Man.
We for my sister's graduation present, we all went on an Alaskan cruise. So we went up to Seattle, got on a cruise. I went to
I've heard
two things in
Alaskans are
Alaska,
pretty sick.
and then Canada, and then back to Seattle.
I want to cruise the Mediterranean.
And that's the way to do it. But
so bad.
One of the nights on the cruise out there, a big storm hit, and the ship we were on was a lot smaller than the cruise ships we've been on before, so you could feel it a lot more. And then we went up on the top deck because like dinner was like near the top deck, and my brother and I were like, we got to go out there. Like it looks wild. And we went out, and it was like, I've never been in wind like this before. It was literally like you could like Michael Jackson lean into the wind and it would hold you. So you just like spread your arms out and you would just lean and you were just like suspended. Like it felt like you could fly. Jimmy, I didn't do this. Jimmy would jump and hold his hands out and he would just get carried back.
That's
like
incredible.
part of it was the ship's moving forward, but then also the wind. It was wild. So he's like standing where you are jumping, whoo, and he was like back like 10 feet. It was crazy. It was crazy.
The wind at the front of the boat is crazy.
Yeah, it was awesome. But we went on that cruise, and then we went to every year we went the Oasis of the Sea was the one we went on. And that went to like Jamaica, Bermuda, like Caribbean areas. And then my senior year, we went to Greece for our senior trip, and we got on a cruise in Turkey. And then it was a very small cruise. There wasn't a lot of activities. There was like one dining hall, one like party room, club, and one room for like board games. And the rest was just...
That's lame.
Yeah, but I mean, it was like you didn't have a day at sea. It was like so you wake up somewhere, spend the day there, get on the boat, go to sleep, wake up somewhere else. So you weren't really on the boat for much. You were on the boat for dinner and sleeping. We went to like Mykonos, Santorini.
I've always wanted to go to Santorini.
One other place.
That is the thing.
Greece.
If I were going on a cruise to the Mediterranean, I'd want it to be like that. I wouldn't want to be tempted to stay on the ship because I would want to explore.
Well, that's what like the Caribbean you want to be on the ship because like you have a day at sea and like there's a lot, but like there's also like trips through Europe where you go like through a canal and like but those are more like the ship is just for you to eat dinner, hang out at night.
It's
sleep,
transportation.
Wake up, and then you have from when you wake up all day at this new place.
Right.
And it was that cruise. That was my wife's first and only cruise. We weren't married at the time. Obviously, she was just in my class. We were dating at the time. She hated it, so I can't. It's hard for me to convince her to go on a cruise because it was a very small ship. And so it was very rocky.
Gotcha.
Like you'd get off and you'd feel like the ground was still moving.
That makes it so much fun to me.
Because like the Oasis of the Sea is essentially a skyscraper.
Yeah.
You don't feel a thing.
Yeah.
Like you just are in a hotel.
Yeah.
You forget you're on a boat.
Mm-hmm.
This boat, you didn't forget you're on a boat. Mm-hmm. We were dancing to Miss Jackson by the Outcasts. It was very hard to dance.
My only real experience of cruises is from watching Sweet Life on Deck.
Heck yeah.
Just like that.
Looked like a good time. What an interesting concept for a show. They were like, they went from the hotel angle straight
to the motel to the Holiday Inn.
Yeah, straight to let's just have them go to school on a cruise ship. Like, who pitched that? Kudos, it worked.
I liked the show.
Maybe
I
because
liked it.
It was a great show. I loved it. I mean, maybe the set design was super easy. I don't know.
I don't think the set design was super easy.
No.
Well, I'm saying they didn't have a lot of sets.
I think it was just a
On
pretty
the cruise
natural
ship.
progression. Like hotel.
like-
What's the next thing? Hotel at sea.
It wasn't a hotel. Well, I guess it was kind of a hotel. I mean,
Cruise
I guess
ships are just a
cruise
hotel at
ships
sea.
are basically hotels. Yeah.
It was an easy
And
progression.
so I guess that's where it went. And then they were like, well, I guess we'll just have them do school on the boat too. What a fascinating show.
What
Really.
a great show.
I would say Sweet Life is probably, as far as Disney Channel shows of that era are concerned,
I saw
tough to beat.
I saw a joke from the Sweet Life that was, I forgot how funny it was. It was when Cody dyes his hair and it like turns out like bright red. And he's like, you're supposed to be Honey Missed Auburn. And then Zach's like, well, honey, you missed Auburn by a lot.
That's funny, dude. There's some good jokes in that show. And Arwen was really funny. And the lifeguard.
Irwin? Irwin?
Arwen. His name was Arwen.
Wasn't Irwin?
No, it was Arwen. I'm almost positive.
The like mechanic guy.
Yeah, his name was Arwen. Look it up.
I
Arwen was
don't
really
know.
funny.
I
Esteban
thought it
was
was
really
Irwin.
funny. And the lifeguard that was like super dumb was really funny. But it's definitely Arwen.
Oh, if you search it, it's two. It is Arwin.
Yeah, I corrected it for you.
No.
At
If
the
you, if,
top.
if you start typing it,
It said, "Did you mean Arwen?" At the
no,
top
but like
of
if you
that
type,
search.
well, now it's not going to come up because it's recent.
Well, yeah, because people probably like you were
That's
wrong.
what I'm saying. Look, right there. Irwin, Arwin. They're both up there.
It doesn't change which one's correct.
No, Arwin was right. I'm just saying it's a common thing that people must think.
No, I've never heard it.
You just did.
Never heard of it. It's because Google heard your voice. You can't really argue against it.
I mean, I don't think that is based on recent searches.
I have
but it
seen
could be.
crazier. I've seen crazier things.
be.
I've seen crazier searches than that come up on devices.
I mean, it's a
What?
fact your phone's listening.
Let's
to
play
you.
a game called "What Is in This Office Is Definitely Listening to Us." I'll start. Connor's Alexa definitely listening to us.
Well, most of the
All
time,
of
you
our
give,
phones definitely listening.
the
to us.
phones you give permissions to in your apps.
I don't really think those matter.
It doesn't. Yeah, they're gonna listen anyway.
I don't think it matters.
Well, I'm saying like if anyone tries to tell you your phone's not listening to you, it's literally like every app asks
Yeah.
permission
Yeah.
to have
Yeah.
access to all
Your
that
phone's
stuff.
listening to you. The
My
Alexa's
thing is,
listening to you.
we had this conversation somewhat previously. I don't know if it was on the banter. I'm all for it.
I don't care. If
I
my
don't
phone
give two
listens to
fricks.
me.
If my
No.
phone can if my phone is gonna make my life easier. If I'm like, dude,
I
I wonder if there's any good coffee shops around here, and then I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna just scroll on
I'm not
Instagram,
talking
and then
about anything nearly important enough.
that's what I'm saying.
Like, and nobody cares about me sitting at home talking about whatever it is I talk
Yeah.
about with my family. Nobody gives a rip
Like
about that.
I get where people say it's like invasion of privacy.
it definitely
and all
is,
that stuff.
but then we can't stop it.
100%. But here's my thing: is if it's gonna save me having to Google where the next coffee shop is, and maybe even offer me a coupon,
Dude,
is my
I-
privacy
This is
really worth
what
that
my
much?
this is what my dad doesn't like about
I
it.
like targeted marketing.
Because my dad, I had the most old man conversation with him the other day because he said something about, well, yeah, but like, like Google is just like selling all of your information to people.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but like, what do you mean by that? And he was telling me about how like he's been in like with his company, they've come to him and be like, all right, so this is your client that you're going after. This is all of their recent searches. So you can hit, you know all their needs. You can sell to them like this way.
Yeah.
My dad did not like that. He was like, what the crap? Because like literally Google would just sell to companies all their clients' information so that they can
I would
better target them,
never
which I think,
say that somebody is wrong or like crazy for not liking that.
No.
Because
No.
there's such
Yeah.
grounds.
I think there's
to
a
not
lot
like
of moral lines. Like I would never start a company and do that.
I just don't care.
But
yeah, personally,
I've used it to market multiple times.
no, yeah, I'm
on
just saying. So
Facebook and Google.
his reason. So I was like, so like, there's no way to get around that. Like, what do you do? And he was like, well, I use what's the search engine?
Bing.
No,
Go
it's DuckDuckGo.
DuckDuckGo.
He said I use DuckDuckGo, and I was like, I literally sat there with
Well,
my
here's
mouth
the
open.
thing.
I was like, you use
I won't inconvenience
DuckDuckGo?
myself to that
And he was
level.
like, yeah, I do. He was like, I don't. He was like, here's the thing. It's not that I'm like a conspiracy theorist who like is super big on privacy or anything. He says I don't like that Google is selling my information and not giving me anything in return.
Well,
for
but
it.
here's the
I respect
issue:
that.
is
And
it
so he
happened
doesn't
well
like that-
before Google. well before.
But
Because
Google has expounded on it the most.
I don't even know if that's
Maybe.
true. My grandfather owned a list rental company, which was basically for direct mail. My whole family, my dad, everyone, they do direct mail. And I was talking to my dad about like how social media marketing worked. And because I was explaining to him, I was doing a lot of real estate ads and I was writing them on Facebook and I was explaining to him like, dude, this is crazy. Like I can go by zip code, income bracket, your job title, interest, race, age, whatever I want. It has all this information all segmented out. Like I could go people who have visited this site, people who like avoid people who have visited this site. Like you can segment all the way down. My dad's like, yeah. He's like, well, that's what we do with direct mail. I'm like, no, but like you can't do that. He goes, no, like we know, like he's like, we can go and find what house you used to live at, what you sold the house for, the car you drive, how much you paid for that car, your dental record. Like there's a lot of stuff like based on, oh, this company is looking for this type of person based on all of your purchase history, credit card transactions, all of this stuff, then they could go find a list that's like this type of person. This is the type of stuff they'd be into. Here's a list of people that drive this type of car, spend money at these type of places, all of that. It's like all trackable.
I mean, yeah,
So that's been going on because my dad was doing this for
I would
20
argue
years.
that Google probably does have the biggest library.
Google has the biggest library.
Absolutely.
Google and Facebook have the biggest library.
I think that
by a long shot. But I'm just
information
saying,
has definitely always been valuable, and people have always been willing to
that's where
sell it.
that's where I'm also not going to go down that road because like if you go down that road, again, the only way you're going to end up not being trackable truly is like off the grid, cash only, and like heck no.
Yeah,
I respect
like
people who
card-
do that, but it's too late.
I
for me.
understand it, but you're gonna turn into a tinfoil hat, like
if you
because you're
had
like everything you do is trackable.
if you had the right lifestyle to where like there's people that homestead. Like if you had the right lifestyle, it'd probably be a lot easier to live off the grid. And you'd probably get a lot of enjoyment out of it. But
I will
obviously
say
ours
something
is
that
impossible.
because like my family used to talk about this. I don't think it's gonna happen anymore.
I want to FaceTime my family that lives in Pennsylvania. You know,
Yeah.
So like it's
But my family used to talk about this. It's definitely I don't think it's gonna happen anymore because we just never fell in the right place. But we always talked about like because my whole family lives here, and we always talked about buying like 150 or 200 acres or something, and then splitting it among each of our families so that we each have like 30 or 40 acres, but we're all there. So like we were gonna build out like playground in the middle, and like we were all pitch in. So like you have your
sounds
own
awesome.
like
How do I get
own
an acre on
pond,
the
all of
freaking
this
Thomas
stuff, right?
Park?
Like that sounded incredible. Like basically you all have enough privacy that when you go home you don't have to like see everyone, but then you just hop on your four-wheeler and
That'd be a lot of
like
fun.
you're at like I was just thinking like imagine growing up with your cousins like
That'd be
I'm
so
gonna just
much.
hop on my four-wheeler and meet my three cousins at the basketball court up top.
That'd be so
Like
much fun.
that was the dream. I don't think it's gonna happen. But then
Why,
these
dude?
it just never really worked out. Everyone because the thing we're coming into is none of us could guarantee we were gonna be here the rest of our lives, and it gets into like weird line of like
Yeah.
you buy the land, you subdivide it. I now own this 40-acre piece. I build my house. Then 30 years down the road, Liz and all my kids, or like all my kids move out and they are all living in Texas.
Right.
And I'm like, Liz and I want to follow our kids and live in Texas.
Yeah.
Now we have to sell our home. But the rest of my family has it, and you have to drive through the property to get to our home. And it's
Yeah.
like, how do we
Yeah.
sell that? Like, you don't want,
Right.
like, no one in my family would want to buy 40 acres in our house because why the heck would you want that? But then you have to sell it to someone random, and then all
Right.
Makes a lot
that's
of
where it
sense.
gets weird. So like we thought
true.
through the logistics and we're like, as fun as that would be, because then also like my sister and brother-in-law jump back and forth with like sometimes they want to move to Alaska, sometimes they don't. And it was just a lot of stuff like that to where it's like there's enough up in the air that's like as fun as that would be, it's not gonna work. But this dude that used to train me in basketball in high school, he has 3 brothers. I think there's 4 brothers and a sister. There's 5 of them total, I think. And they were from Texas. They all went their different ways. He actually ended up going and playing professional basketball in like Australia, Germany, all this stuff, right? Then he moved back to the US, and his dream was always to open a like summer camp. So he bought this camp down, and it was like really run down. His other brother started flipping homes. So he used to live here. He was just flipping homes. His other brother was like a marketing guy, I think. And then I don't know what his fourth brother did, and I don't know what his sister did. But he bought this camp that had a bunch of land. And then over time, like his brother who lived here was like, hey, I'm like, if you're cool with it, I'd like to just move down there to the camp with you, and I'll help you fix it all up. So then his brother moved down and fixed it all up. And his other brother was like, hey, if you're cool with it, like I'd love to be a camp counselor during the summers and like help you market it. And so he moved down there. And then his other brother moved down there. So now there's like 5 families. I think they have like 17 to 20 kids. And they all, like his family, all his siblings, they all live at this camp.
That's pretty cool.
And so all summer, his kids are just constantly at the camp. They have like 600 to 1,000 kids come through the camp every summer. And then during the off season, they all fix it up and just like live at the camp.
Where's this camp?
Texas.
Texas.
I was
so
like,
cool.
I was like, dang, like that's the dream there.
That's cool.
Incredible. So like there's, and they have mainly boys. And so they always joke because they were all super athletic guys. 2 of them play D1 basketball. And so they always were like, we have our starting lineup. Like all the boys are within a few like years of each other. And they like have,
Army
they have
of
basically a
athletes.
full team. And so they're just constantly playing basketball down there.
That's
like,
so
dang.
funny.
That's a good time.
Yeah. So anyways, you want to start a foundation combine, man?
Yeah, sounds good, man.
We'll just buy 30 acres, 10, 10, 10. Boom.
Okay.
Home free.
That sounds good.
No one's allowed to move though.
If one of us is moving, we're all moving.
Contract. It's gonna be a contract in there.
In blood.
No, that was what we had got to. Is like we were talking through it because we found a few pieces of property. Like my sister, because what the plan was, my brother-in-law, and my sister wanted a farm. So the plan was they were gonna buy the 150, 200 acres, however, whatever we could find. It was 100 acres was like kind of the minimum. They were gonna buy it. And then they were going to farm the land until people were ready. And then like when Liz and I were ready, we were going to buy like, 10-acre plot or whatever and have it like secluded. Like we were going to each pick our spots. And then my parents were going to be the first ones to move there after my sister. And then like everyone's going to move there. And so they were like looking for it seriously because my sister and brother-in-law were like, we want to buy the land and farm now. And so they were looking for it seriously. So we went and looked at several pieces of property. And like we had got down to like talking about the nitty gritty. And we were like, all right, well, like what did this actually look like? Like how do we prevent the headache of like people buying? It was like, we were talking about like, all right, well, first rights to the property of like stay within the family. So like if someone is moving, you have the first rights to buy it. But I was like, but like, let's think through this. Like, honestly, like if Liz and I build a, small home, my parents build a decent home, my sister and then build a decent home, and like my sister in a move, like if you're paying fair market value, you might be like, now it's like if they're the ones that own 100 acres and they have a decent home on it, it might be worth like $800,000-900,000 or $1 million. And I'm like, none of us are gonna want to buy that.
Right.
But then if someone else comes in and buys it, now I have 5 acres surrounded by 125 acres of someone else's farm.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's just a nightmare.
Yeah.
And so we kept going through it, and everyone was like, well, we're never moving. I was like, but we can't say that. Because like all it takes is
Just one.
everyone at Foundation's like, you know what? It'd be so much better if we were in Dallas. We all agree. And I'm like, and then what am I supposed to do? Like, I got to go to Dallas. I don't have an option. Like, I don't want to move, but like things could happen to where like, what happens if Heather gets a much better job offer in Alaska? And Ethan's like, hey, I've always wanted to live in Alaska. And they're like, you know what? Let's do it. It could happen. I'm like, we don't like, so that's where it ended up.
Well, you don't want to live on a lot of land anyway. You said
I would like
'Cause
to
you don't
live on a
wanna-
lot
you
of
don't
land. I don't
wanna
want to
maintain
maintain it. 10 acres
Yeah.
is my max.
Yeah.
So that was always my plan, was be secluded in the middle of his farm with my 10-acre lot. And I was gonna fence in an acre and just let him farm the other 9.
Gotcha.
That I just have it. So like if I wanted to do stuff, I had it. But like he my brother-in-law was like, hey, if you let me farm it, even if it's just getting hay off it, he's like, I'll fully maintain it. I'm like, heck yeah, that sounds great to me. Just give me an acre for my dogs to run.
That's the play. Let the dogs run.
Yeah. But yeah, that's that.
Yeah, man.
I think Liz and I's plan is to milk as much out of our current house as we can. So just park there.
Makes
Next
sense.
year we'll be at 5 years, which means that it'll be our primary residence for 5 years. So then we don't have to worry about capital gains if we sell it or anything like that. We're not looking to move at any time soon, but I think we're gonna try to get a little 2 kids in our house, and when the third's on the way, consider it, because what we want is buy land, build, and the next home we build is like our home.
Just like sit there. Yeah.
Forever.
Raise your kids there. Retire
Yeah, like
there.
just build a master bedroom on the main story, build out whatever we want. Like we want to be able to build our home that we're like happy to retire in after this. And if we have 1 kid, the home we're in might be the home we retire in.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. We love it.
Not a thing wrong with it. It's a nice house.
But that's the goal. We'll see what happens. The biggest thing I'm going to have to convince Liz on is I don't want to sell our house. I want to keep our house and rent it.
Oh, and rent it.
yeah.
Own that property, baby.
Mm-hmm. I don't think I'm gonna be able to convince her
Own that prop
because our houses went up in value. Obviously, everyone's has, but
for now.
yeah, for now. I'm sure when it crashes. But I mean, the big thing was at this point, our tax assessment is like higher than we paid for it. I think
Yeah.
it's been, real estate's been crazy. But I think what will end up happening is we'll sell our house in the future, build our house, and then I'll probably try to buy a house or two closer to one of the campuses and rent those.
College kids.
Yeah, well, the housing market's actually cheaper in a lot of those areas.
Yeah.
Well, Lynchburg College, it definitely is. But if you go towards Liberty, the back, like Candler's Mountain strips,
Yeah.
and you can just rent that. It's like guaranteed rent.
Yupper.
That's the way to do it.
That's the way to do it.
That's the goal.
Real estate.
We'll see. I don't know how long this episode's been.
An hour and 5 minutes.
Long enough then. All right, what noise are you making? Give us a C chord. Let's have be a chord, dude.
No, I'm just hitting a C note. Sorry.
Okay, I'll go C chord. Was that the same
Just
as my
because
G?
you add
Maybe.
at the beginning of it
I
doesn't
never-
make it a chord.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, well, the closest thing would actually be arpeggio. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
That's a C, baby.
Your turn, Connor. Do a C chord.
C chord, baby.
Hit a G string.
Ring.
Well,
Just
just
'cause you do it,
because
just
you
'cause
do
you
the
do it.
noises to add to it. Hit an arpeggio.
No, man. It's not really my thing.
Arpeggio.